Hello students, welcome in this online session of 9th standard. Now this is part number 2 as I have made you to understand this lesson, part number 3, chapter 3rd, part number 1st about the English textbook of Beehive, 9th standard, in which we studied that how nicely a girl is making or she is trying, whose name is Kezia, to make some kinds of gift stuff to her dad. But before she was making, she was confused out. We studied all this detailed review of this chapter in the previous lesson or in the previous lecture. So now when she was confused, she was not confirmed that how to make that kind of gift stuff, how to make that kind of special material for the dad. She was being guided by her grandmother Kezia that she can use to make a category of cushion to her dad. Now dad was always fond of sleeping. So she was making that kind of cushions. So she thought that let me make a cushion for my dad. And as I have also explained you that how nicely she was about to fill the cushion, but there was some kinds of problem related with that. Now what was the problem? That we'll discuss in this part. So this part is all about some theories which I'm going to explain you. This is part number 2, lesson number 3rd, and the book is Beehive, English Medium 9th Standard. See my dear student, in this part, Kezia is making birthday gift, okay, to her dad, or we can say for her dad. But she lays in the evening dark with the shadow sadness. So here, shadowed room, watching the evening light. Why this happened? If everything was going good enough, why this happened that she was feeling so much insecure? What was the reason behind that? Okay, that we should discuss in this part number 2. So therefore, and she is also having one of the question, what did God made for the father, or what did God made father for? There's a question from her. So you need to understand this kinds of thing also, as I have said you in the part number 1st, and I'm moving to the part number 2, in which I'll make you understand that why the question is being asked by this girl, that what the father is made by God. What is the need of the father? She's asking. She has been asking to her grandmother. See what is happening here. When she is actually making the cushion for her dad, she is tearing up the papers which was actually used as a contract business of a dockyard from the father's business. But now she is a child. So being a child, she is not knowing about that kind of thing. Now if this girl is not knowing about this thing, how she'll be understanding that what is important paper and what is not important paper? So in this meanwhile, she is actually tearing up the important papers. And now once she's tearing up the important papers, that papers belong to dad, and now dad will become very much angry. So this thing we'll see in this lesson, and we need to start this lesson also right now. So at that night, when she stuffed all the kind of thing, there's a hue and cry and the screaming sound in the house with a question. So who was that person who was making this kinds of sound, and what was the reason behind making this kinds of sound? So we can say that at that night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech was there, and for the he was asking for the port authority that he had been lost. It was a contract, it was a signed contract paper. Now rooms were searched, every cupboard were examined, and we can say that everything was searched out, but there was nothing there. So mother is coming and mother is asking to her, mother is asking to Kezia that Kezia, have you seen that kind of paper? And now what can be the reply of Kezia? Let's see it out here. So Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some of the papers on the dining table in your bedroom or the bed table in your room? And then she's giving the reply, a very casual, a positive reply. Oh yes, I have seen. She said, yes, I have seen. I tore them up and I stuffed into the cushion in the small pieces. Now the mother reaction was very ghostly reaction. We can say it was a very ghastly reaction. She was reacting like she has seen the ghost. She is telling, what? You tore it? You come down with me. And now the mother is holding the very delicate hands of the girl, and now she is dragging her down from the staircase towards the father hall, where he was holding the hand backside. He was walking to and fro in the full angry mood, or we can say at that time he was very furious. So now the girl was she was very heartbroken at the time, that what was her mistake, why the mother was taking her down. What is the reason behind the pulling, behind the pull of the mother? Why? So, and she was dragged down to the father's room where the father was making a to and fro walk. He's just, just walking like this. He's just walking like this. He's just walking like this. That what is happening here? What is the reason behind her? Let me see her. And therefore here now, and she was dragged downside. Now he saw when the father was there, he's also asking. Well, he said sharply. Mother explained to the father. Now mother is explaining to the father. She is also feared because that fathers are most of time like they are angry in the mood. So now mother is also having some fear to explain towards the father. And now he stopped and stared at the child after listening to the explanation of the mother. And now he was moving, as I have said you, he was moving to and fro. Now he's stopping there and he is observing to the girl. And then he's asking, did you do that? Is that done by you? And the girl says that, no, I don't know about that. She whispered, no, I have not done that kind of thing. But she actually did that kind of thing. So here, mother, go up. Now father is giving a command to her mother. See what is happening? The girl is actually trying to make the birthday gift, my dear student. She was only trying to make a birthday gift. As she was an innocent child, she was not knowing about what is right, what is wrong. She was just related with the love of parents, and that's why she was making the birthday gift. So she was very innocent child. So now once she is actually crying at the place of father, when the father was standing there, he is giving one kind of information, or you can say command to the mother, go up her in room and fetch the down material, damn thing, that cursed thing, bring her down. I want to see that child's put the bed in the instant here. And now when he saw that cushion, it was filled with all torn paper, he was very angry, because that papers were not only the papers, it was a contract business of the port yard. So that was very risky enough. You can imagine the fear if you are tearing some kinds of special important documents of your dad. It's very risky. So therefore here, crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadowed room, as I have written here, watching. See here, Kesa is making the birthday gift, but she is actually laying in the shadowed room watching the evening light. And now she was thinking that, okay, what I will do now? Will be I bitten by dad? Will he throw me out of house? What he will do? So she is just remaining herself in the shadowed room. And laterly, then the father is coming inside. Now when the girl is sitting there, she was crying a lot. And when the father is entering here, her shadow was also looking very, very sad. In the sadful gesture, she was alone sitting inside the room. In the whole story, who is the person who is very close to the girl? Can you guess out, my dear students? Yes, that is the grandma. So grandma is only there who is actually very, very much close towards the girl. No the mom, neither the dad. Only the grandma is there who is very close towards this girl. So now she is actually feeling that what shall be done with me. Then the father is entering in the room. He came into the room with a ruler in his hand. You know the meaning of ruler? A scale. Okay, it may be wooden scale, or it may be also a plastic scale, or the steel scale also. And now he was in the very dangerous mood. He was feeling very anxiety. Now he was about to beat also to the girl. So now here, I am going to beat you. He said that. He opened the door very furiously and he said, hey girl, come here. I'm going to beat you. Today I'm gonna beat you. So in this case here, he was very, very angry at the time. You can understand the feeling. You can understand the feeling of father also. And you can understand the fear of the girl also. So therefore now, oh no, she screamed. No, hiding under the bedclothes means she is going under the bed and she is saying, no dad, please don't beat me, don't beat me. He pulled them aside. Now he is pulling the bedclothes aside and now he is pulling the girl. Sit up, he ordered, sit up here, and just he is actually pulling the hand of the girl also. And now you must be taught once that thing which is not belonging to you, you should not touch that kind of thing also. So father is actually making some kinds of a lesson to teach to the girl, a very hard lesson, that today I will teach you the lesson, the things which are not belonging to you, you should not touch them. Give your hand, I'm gonna beat you. So now she was about to bitten by the dad. Now when she was about to be bitten by the dad, she was also thinking that what shall I do now? should I run from here or should I get bitten by the dad? So in this case of condition, we can say, okay, the dad pulled her hand, and now when he was about to beat, she said that I actually made that cushion for your birthday. But the dad was in the angry mood. The ruler came down on the red palm, or we can say pink palm, and now the girl started crying very badly. So now he pulled them aside. Sit up here, he ordered, and now he was about to beat, and she said that, but it was for your birthday. Down came the ruler on the hand here, little pink palm. Hours later also she was just crying and crying and crying. So there, when the grandma wrapped the girl, and the grandma always loving to the girl, she is wrapping the girl because it was like cold season, and obviously the girl was also having cold and cough, so she wrapped the girl, and then she was just making her comfortable. The girl was just crying and crying and crying, and the grandma started to rock her inside the rocking chair. You know what the meaning of rocking chair? A chair which is actually moving upside or front and back by the position. The legs of the chair is joined by a wooden position which is also in the shape of arc shape, okay, C shape. And now she is rocking that girl into that chair, trying to make her comfortable. As well, the grandma is saying that, okay, don't worry child, you clung with me, you just come with me, everything you will forget till the morning. Your father was in very bad upset mood here. So down came the ruler, as I said you, and now she is actually with the grandma. So there is a question, what did God made for the father? Or she is asking that, okay, why the father is made? God should not make any father. The fathers are very dangerous. I hate fathers. I don't need any father. See, sometimes you don't know what is the need of father in our life, and the mother also. But sometimes when the dads are beating us, when any dad is beating to you, your dad is beating to you, or anyone's dad, at that time you will be feeling some hate towards your dad. And you will say that, why the God has made father? I don't need any father. But actually you need to understand some of the logical reason behind that. So we can say that here, okay, here's a calm hanky, my darling. Please, sweetheart, she's telling that, please blow your nose. You take this handkerchief, blow your nose. Grandmother is trying to make her comfortable. And she's also giving her assurance that by the morning you will forget everything. Just you sit and just try to be comfortable. Don't cry, my dear child, don't cry. But the girl was not going to forget that kind of thing till the morning also. Because you know that when anyone is bitten badly, especially the girl, by the dad or mom, they never forgetting. And they just remember that kind of thing. Oh, dad beat me on that day, mother also beat me on that day, and they just remember here. So after beating, see, my dear students and parents also, those who are watching this lecture, I would like to recommend you or suggest you that never beat your child. You know what will happen after that? They will not share any kind of secrets, any kind of personal problems, happiness, joyness, their wish, hobby, or their you can say their fantasy with you. They will not share. They will just remain to make some distance internally, not by the physical but by internally. They will make some distance from your side. Try to be a good friend of your kids. Don't become very, very hard towards them. Some mistakes are done by the kids. I accept that kind of thing. You all accept that kind of thing. But that mistake is not bigger than your kid, that you should beat them in such a way. So therefore here we can say that, okay, the child never forget that kind of thing here, as she was beaten badly. So here I tried to explain, grandma is telling that, okay, what you did, and the child is telling, I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight, and he was very upset. I was telling him that I just made for your birthday present, but he was not listening and he beat me very dangerously. So I was feeling very insecure at that time. So now we can say that after some time, the morning is happening. Now the morning occurs and everything is going normal. But whenever the girl saw the father, her cheek became red with the fear, and she holded the hands back. She was never pulling the hands out. She was having fear that again my dad will pull my hand and he will beat me with the ruler here. So we can say that was actually in the heart of the little girl, Kezia. You need to know the name also. So we can say that now one thing is happening in the story which is quite different and interesting also. Now what is the thinking here? The next morning we can say that when she was left at the home, she was watching from the courtyard of her own home, that next to her home there was a man living there. His name was Mr. MacDonald. Okay, and he was just like a neighbor of her. Now Kaiza is explaining herself that what I am watching is actually right or wrong. Now what she was there? It was a happy thing. See here, the McDonald lived next door. They had 5 children. How many children? 5 children. Oh my God, this is so risky. 5 kids means dangerous. So she was having like McDonald. She was having a view towards the McDonald, and McDonald was having 5 kids. You can understand? Small, big, 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 big. Dangerous. So here the McDonald lived in the next door. They had 5 kids, 5 children here, looking through the gap into the fence, and the little girl saw them playing tag also. Now she is looking towards her. That why the people, like, why the kids are giggling, why they're making some laughing sound, why they're making some clapping sound. Ho kya raha? Let me see that. And when she saw that, there was fun going on in the next room, or in the next side of the, you can say, of the house where the neighbors were living. In the house garden, in the front courtyard garden, there was a fun going on. What was that here? Looking at that, okay, she saw them playing tag in the evening. Playing tag in the evening means she was actually seen that all the kids are hanging over the body of Mr. McDonald, and the McDonald is also rotating round like a roundabout, and he is making fun to the kids. So here in this lesson we can say that Mr. McDonald's character is actually defining that fathers are different kinds of, according to the girl. So what is happening, my dear students, here? See, basically the father with the baby, okay, the father with the baby, now Mao on his shoulder, as you can see the figure also. As well we can say that 2 little girls hanging on the side coat of the pocket. As well we can say other ran round and round with the flowers bed also, shaking with the laughter. Once she saw boys turning hoses on him and tried to catch him laughing and making some extra spending time also. Like we can say that, okay, the girl was watching when the kids are playing with the father. She was looking at Mao, the smallest girl, the baby girl, she is on the shoulder. Other 2 girls are hanging on the pocket. Other boys and girls are rotating around his dad. So it's fantastic. How nice his dad is that. He's playing with them. So now she came to know that she decided that fathers are of different category, where my father means Kaiza's father is angry category, Mr. McDonald is funny category, other could be confusing category, later on somebody's dad could be interesting category, some of the dad could be spy category, other than some of the dad will be criminal category. Means fathers are of different categories. She was thinking about that because she is a small little girl and she is not knowing that there is no category in the father. They actually behaving according to their mood. But here something was wrong in the story that I will teach you in the last of this chapter, and I will also make the parents who are watching this video to understand some feelings related to the kids also. So going back to the lesson here, then she decided there were different kinds of sort of fathers, and also suddenly one day mother became ill. Mother became ill means now we can say that, like the girl, as you can see here, that Kezia's mother became ill and now she was hospitalized, means she was admitted to the hospital here. So suddenly the grandmother went to the hospital and now Kezia and the dad were alone at the home. Now when they both were alone at home, the little girl was left alone in the house. She was feared for her father, and with her only one person was there, Alice. Now who was there? That was the cook. So therefore that was all night in the daytime she was just remaining alone at her home. Now when she was remaining alone at her home, she was just thinking about to her mother and the father also, but she was not, see my dear students, she was not closely related to her father. So when she was not closely related to her father, she was making some gap. Okay, she was making some gap from her father, and also she was making some kinds of like distance from her father, and she was not trying to meet her father, not trying to talk also with her father, and she was trying to maintain a proper distance from her father. So but a while we can say Alice putting her bed then grew suddenly afraid. When Alice was putting the bed, she was afraid. She was thinking that should I sleep alone? Is it right for me or it is wrong for me? Is this good enough to sit alone? And now here, what I will do if the nightmare is coming? She is asking to the Alice that, hey, tell me, if I'm getting a nightmare. Nightmare means the bad dreams. What I shall do at that time? Nobody is here. My grandma is not here. Is it good enough to stay at home? She is asking. And now here, what if I would get a nightmare? I asked if I often have a nightmare and Granny takes me to her into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. She's telling, yes, I can't stay in the dark. It all gets whispery. Whispery means some sound, like somebody's talking in the dark. A whispering sound. So she's thinking here, I will not stay here. But the same old nightmare came at that night when she was sleeping alone. Okay, the cook went away and now she's sleeping alone. The same nightmare came towards her, means in her own dream. And now she was thinking that what was in the nightmare. You know what was in the nightmare? A butcher with a knife. You know butcher? Butcher means a person who is actually, it is known as the butcher. Butcher is cutting the meat, okay? So he is thinking that a butcher with a knife and a rope who came nearer and nearer, smiling with a dreadful smile. And he is coming with a nearer to the case. I will cut you today. I will cut you like this. See, sometimes what is happening, my dear students, we all are having some kinds of nightmare, some of the dangerous dreams that are making us puzzled, and also they are making us to wake up at the night time thirsty, and we drink the water. So in this case of theory, we can say that she was actually affected by the nightmare, and now she is thinking that what shall I do? My grandma is also not here. So now who came nearer and nearer, she could not move also. Like in the night time, she was not able to move. Sometimes, you know, we are getting some dreams, we are unable to move, and sometimes we are getting the dreams in which we just think that we have fallen from a high place and we just woke up. I know these kinds of things are happening with us. So now she woke up shouting the sound, we can say crying a sound, grandma, like this. Where are you? But there was no sound of the grandma. She was shivering here to see father beside her and a candle in his hand. Now she saw somebody near to her. And who was that? That was the father, candle in his hand. And she said, yes, my dear child, what happened to you? Now the father is behaving with her very lovelyfully, or we can say very friendly. She was also shocked at that night time. Now see, my dear student, there was no any person with her in the house. Only father was there. So when she got the nightmare, when she got the night dream, when she got the bad dream, she just woke up shouting grandma, and now she was attached with her father. Actually, father came near to her, and he was about to make her comfortable here. So now what's the matter? He said, oh, a butcher, a knife. I want granny. She's telling, I don't want to live here. I want granny. I'm so feared. I saw a bad dream. So now to see the father beside her, she was shocked, but she's telling this kinds of thing to her father, and she's thinking that, okay, something could be happening and I could get my granny back. But actually, you know, granny, where was she? She was in the hospital, while her we can say her mom was also in the hospital. So granny was taking care of her mother. So laterly we can say that, okay, she was actually thinking that I should be getting the support of my granny, but as I said you, granny was not present there. So carrying her along with the passage in her arms, he just lift the baby in her arm, okay, in his arms. And now she is going along with the dad, okay, in the passage of the lobby, means towards the next room of the father here. So now he put away the papers and then carefully tuckled up the child, carefully handling the child here, means covering the child in the bed, means with the cover of the, we can say, shawl or the bed sheet, or you can say blanket also, because it was a chilly night, okay. And now she was with the dad, so she is not going to get sleep here. So now here, when she was tuckled with her, or we can say when she was ready to go with her dad, she was thinking that it is not good enough to live with my dad, because see, my dear students, she has never left with her dad, and she has never slept also next to her dad. As we are, sometimes when we are small child, we are sleeping between mom and dad. Sometimes the kids are fighting to sleep with mom, and hey, my mom is that, I will sleep by side. And others, no, my mom is that, I will sleep by her side. So in this case, we can say that now he lay down beside her and half asleep still, with the butcher's smile. She was thinking about, dad is also sleeping there, but she was still remembering that butcher's smile. I will cut you, I will tie you, because it was a bad dream. See, bad dreams are a general process of our life, and sometimes we see the bad dream, sometimes it is very dangerous that we wake up, and sometimes we just remember the stories in the morning time. but the girl's dream was very bad in this story here. So literally here, then we can say that the girl was related with her father, and she was thinking that I should now sleep with my dad. So literally, still with the butcher's smile about it seems in the girl's conscience, in her own knowledge of the belief, she was remembering that here his arm had tightly to his shirt, snuggled in the under the father's shirt, means she was now holding the father and arm tightly wrapped towards father, and now she was trying to get asleep. But you know what happened? Then the dark did not matter. She lay still, she rubbed, and also the father is saying that don't worry beta, the dark doesn't matter to you. Rub your feet towards my feet, you will get comfortable, you will get warm enough. So now the girl is doing that kind of thing here, said the father, and tried out. He slept before the little girl here. Now the father was tired and he's just sleeping like this, and the girl saw, oh, dad has slept, he's sleeping so early, he's sleeping. You know actually why dads are sleeping? Your dad also could be sleeping at home very early. You both could be watching movies together, but your dad could be sleeping there, and you are still watching the movie. Why? Because actually he is coming from the job, he is tired, he is having some age, he is aged now, he is having low immunity system, he will sleep. So here we can say that the dad slept before the girl, and now the girl was thinking that, is that right, he's sleeping before me? Okay, no problem. So therefore, tied out, now slept before the girl, and now she was thinking, a funny feeling came out over her. Now what is the funny here? Poor father, not so big after all, and with no one look after him, he was harder enough. She is telling that, oh poor father, he is not so much big also. As she came closer to her father, she was sleeping. She is thinking, father is a good size of man. He is not that much big as I was thinking, like a giant. He is not that much kind of big. So she is thinking that, and nobody is taking care of father also. See how he is sleeping, nobody cares about the father. She is thinking that, and laterly we can say that, okay, but there is a nice hardness in his hand. We can say that, okay, like he was harder than the grandmother. Obviously, if you are holding your grandmother and you are sleeping like you are a child of grandmother, and you are sleeping with your father, obviously there will be a difference in the physical features. Like father is harder enough, but the grandmother is not that much harder enough. Grandmother will not shout loudly like sleeping like this, but the father will make some kinds of snoring sound. So she is thinking about that, and laterly it was a nice hardness, and she is thinking that, and Mr. McDonald's, she had torn up all his beautiful writings, and she tried suddenly and sized also. She was thinking all the past thing about the McDonald's, about the tearing paper, and many more kind of thing here. So what the matter? Asked the father. Another dream here, and now she's again waking up. So again, father is like, hey beta, what happened? Again you are woke up? What is the problem? And she's telling that, nothing, just I saw a dream. Oh, said the little girl, my head's on your heart, I can hear it. Your heart is making a sound. Okay, your heart is making a drum sound, a beating sound. What a big heart you have got, father dear. Sister in that, oh father, your heart is so big, it is getting a boom sound. After a second, it is just making a boom sound, and it is so big heart, father. And father is just making a laugh sound and saying, yes beta, it's a father's heart, just sleep there. So means right now we can say that in the ending of the lesson we can say, when the grandma is not in the story, now Keiza is forced to sleep with her father, as she was the child of the father. So the father is taking care of her, and he is sleeping before her. She is again watching a funny dream, and again she is waking up. Again the father is asking, what happened to you, my dear? And then she's replying that, I saw nothing, father, like you have a big heart. And the father is telling, yes, I have a big heart. So now the Keiza is not having that much fear towards her father. As she is coming closer towards her father, now she is having change in her thought, and she is also thinking that fathers are not a different categories, they are good enough and they are behaving according to their mood. And this is the whole lesson about the story, which is written by Catherine Mansfield. See, my dear students and parents, whenever you are actually relating with your parents, especially for the students, you should open up with your parents. Try to tell them every details of your life. Same as the parents, you try to accept all the theories from the students and try to manage them without beating them, because beating or telling them bad words or trying to make them feel fear towards you will be breaking some bridge between you, a distance bridge, and then you both can never come back together. So you need to show some humble love, respect from both sides. Okay, student to the parent side also, parent to the student side also. and then you can make a good life of both of you. So this lesson is all about the Kezia, the little girl, Kezia, the little girl, and written by Catherine Mansfield, and the lesson is third. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. There is a great deal of the theories related to the latest information in the lesson also, and the lesson was interesting. So we'll meet in the next chapter with the new lessons and all new theories. Till then, you can take care, keep revising, maintain self-distancing. Bye bye. Jai Hind.